While HBox won another Melee major at Low Tier City, Wizzobe traveled overseas to win Inca Fest, a 64 major featuring not only the likes of Isaiah, but countless other really good international threats in 64. This includes the likes of players like Prince, Alvin, and Gerson. Of course, there was no like super boom fan and some other people in Japan and some people in other regions, but this was still a relatively really stacked competition as far as 64 goes. After the tournament, Wizzy won the tournament, and a lot of people speculate and say that Wizzobe actually has a case to be top 5 in the world in 64. Now, keep in mind that he just won a super major not too long ago in Melee with Captain Falcon. That if you were to end and do PGR right now for Melee, or the rankings, he'd probably be top 2 or 3, depending on what you value. So he's pretty much top 3 in the world in Melee. And he's a really good ultimate player, too. So, excuse me one second. One fun statistic of Wizzy across all the games. He's the only player that can brag about beating Tweak in Ultimate, Hungrybox in Melee, and Super Boom Fan in 64. Arguably the best player in the world in each of the respective games. So that's Wizzy for you. So it's pretty impressive that he can churn results in 3 unique games. We've had certain times where people were really good at Melee and like Project M, but debatably, in certain patches they were very similar in how they played. Or you'd see people good at 2 unique games, like maybe it's like Smash 4 and then Project M, or Smash 4 and like they're okay at Melee. But seeing that Wizzy's like incredibly good at 3 games is something we haven't really seen in a long time. So this kind of really begs the question, if Wizzy is, debatably top 50 in the world in Ultimate, debatably top 5 in the world in 64, and debatably top 3, if not top 2 in Melee, is this the most impressive feat or the most dominant Smash player we've ever seen in all of Smash's history? Now, I'm saying this across Smash games. And keep in mind that if Wizzy played Project M, he'd probably still be really good at the game, although patches and updates have probably not made him as good as when he used to play Sonic in one of the older patches. Now, with that being said, who do we compare him to if we're going to debate the most dominant Smash player of a different era? So let's compare 2019 Wizzy to 2009 Mutaking, or 2008 to 2009 Mutaking when Brawl first came out. Now, if you guys don't know, I had this gnarly cough, so I'm going to get out of the way. Excuse me. If I had a YouTube editor, I'd probably just edit it out. But anyway, so when Brawl came out, and you guys see this a little bit in the documentary, like Mutaking barely lost, and he pretty much was an undisputed number 1 player in 08 and maybe 09 too. I'd say he's probably a number 1 player in 09 as well. Rarely lost a major. If he didn't lose, if he didn't win it, he finished top 2. Had positive records on everybody. Was clearly ahead of the meta on everybody else. So in Brawl, Mutaking 2008, 2009, clearly number 1, and in Melee at the same time, This was at the tail end of a lot of the. If you look at MLG Vegas in the documentary, you saw the 8 players that qualified for top 8, like Hugs, Korean DJ, PC Chris, Ken, Isaiah, Chu, Azin, and a few others. Most of them, unfortunately, in 09, 08 left the game at the time, so you were kind of left with Korean DJ, PC Chris, a little bit maybe Chudat and Azin, and then Mutaking. But Mutaking by far in 08 was the best player in Melee as well. And in 09, Pound 3 happened, Revival of Melee happened, Genesis happened. But still, you could put any Mutaking in that year anywhere between best in the world and like top 3. So now we have to compare that Mutaking was the best in the world. It was very clear in Brawl. And he was pretty much the best in the world in Melee too. In 08 to 09, although you could debatably put Mango ahead of him. And if you want to value one tournament highly, then you could also put Armada up there. But still, top 2 probably in Melee and best in Brawl is by far the most dominant thing I've ever seen in terms of Smash performances, where Mutaking was a favorite to win almost every event he went to. And this also includes doubles too, where jokingly we'd say Mutaking would hold up a tournament by himself because he'd be very far in bracket in all 4 events. Melee singles, Melee doubles, Brawl singles, Brawl doubles. Of course, Brawl, doubles is its own discussion, but I figure I should probably mention that because this gnarly cough. Anyway, Sorry that distraction. But Mutaking, dominant in 2 games. You could argue that he was the best in the world. So although Wizzy's not on the same regards, I think what's really tough to evaluate here is going across eras. In the old days, you look at like NCAA when like UCLA won all those basketball championships, there weren't as many teams. Or if you look at Bill Russell, or look at the NBA, look at all these records. They played in a different era. There were less teams. And it's really hard to compare players across different eras. So, for now, I'll easily say that Mutaking's dominance across all Smash games was by far another tier above Wizzy's right now. But you can make some you can give a ton of props to Wizzy, because now that Smash has jokingly become esports and a lot more people are doing it full time, that the competition is way harder in 2019 because there are a lot more people that take it way seriously. Whereas back in the day, it was more of a side hobby. We only had a few tournaments a year that were majors. Not many people were full time in it. And now you see people are really serious. There's coaching. There's a lot of infrastructure, and people are studying. There's a lot more resources. But that's not to discredit Mutaking at all. But I also want to highlight that Wizrobe, his performances right now are the thing I want to highlight also, that he's doing remarkable things across all games, and I just wanted to point it out and highlight, what a unique player we have in him that is so multi-talented. So anyway, it's up to you guys to debate if you guys want to think that Wizzy's era in 2019 is much better than Mutaking's dominance in 09. Go ahead and leave a comment on your thoughts and share it with me. Anyway, thanks for listening to this, and we're gonna do more videos. All right.